Do you ever go through periods where you're kind of just like sucked out of energy and you're not as like gung-ho and excited about your business? I've definitely had gone through a period like that. But I have something I'm super excited about right now. I'm here on a Sunday, printing some yard signs, some political yard signs, printing some perf for school, knocking a little bit out. But the real reason I came in is because I want to start building jigs for the fiber laser rotary. I had been baby stepping it with this fiber laser, but last week we finally started using it for metal business cards. I've had a rotary for this thing since I got it, just haven't really used it. So, pivoting this thing upward and wanting to make circular jigs for things like pins would be great. But since I started off with metal business cards, I know I could fit 6 on a jig and let it rotate and run and do them all. So I'm gonna see if I could figure out how to do this. Wish me luck. I don't have enough of these to screw stuff down with. And so I took this to Lowe's. It turns out this is an M6. So I got some more M6 screws at various lengths, just to help me out so that I can lock my rotary into place. Couple other things I need to find out. Number one, I don't know where on this platform the jig needs to go. I kind of feel like as far in the corner as possible so that it can get away from that, or maybe it's supposed to come up here. I have some figuring out to do there. Another thing is I need to make a jig that fits into these chucks here. I'm hoping that maybe there's a chuck file online that I could easily grab and download. It's gonna have 3 holes for them to go in, and then I can tighten down. We shall see. I don't know. It's easy enough for me to figure out probably, but if there's a file that exists, that'll get me one step ahead of the game. Third thing, I don't know exactly how large the disc can be. I hope there's some information out there on that. I gotta figure that out. I can't make the jigs out of metal in-house. I can make them out of acrylic. I can make them out of MDF. I could make them out of birch plywood. I happen to have plenty of acrylic here, so I think I'm just gonna make it out of that. I think it'll be nice and sturdy. I got some thick acrylic for the base. I got some thin acrylic for the top layer of my jig. So we'll try that out. Okay, it looks like there's a lot of jigs that are already available on Etsy for this purpose. So I'll probably end up just purchasing one of those because they're like $4, and that is well worth my time. I did find out that the bed of my laser is 175 millimeters by 175 millimeters. So I need to find a jig that's gonna work within that size area. Okay, I found a jig that looks like it'll work. So I'm just gonna download this and go from there. All right, I got the base layer pulled up first. So I'm gonna take my 1/4 inch acrylic piece that I have and put it in. So I need to do autofocus. Let me show you how I do that. I click FN here in the middle, and then I use the down arrow to go all the way down to autofocus, and then I press enter. And you'll see here, that little dot, that little pin touches the material. It automatically focuses from there, and then it's just a matter of making sure that this dot is directly below where the laser's gonna be. But we're pretty good to go from there. The laser is strongest in the corner up there, so I'm gonna set my origin just with the arrow key a little further up, and also just trying to maximize the use of this piece of material I have here. All right, and I'm just gonna hit enter, hold down the origin button, I think, yeah. All right, so origin is set. All right, according to the documentation for my CO2 for plexiglass, a 1/4 inch thick, for a 130 watt laser, you're looking at 15 millimeters per second and 25% power. And that is for cutting. So that's what I have it set at. I have it set to line mode for each one of these. So we're doing line. We got 15 millimeters per second speed and 25% power. All right. I honestly don't think that power is strong enough for this, but we shall see. Just as I thought, the power setting was nowhere near strong enough. 25% power is not gonna cut it with this thing. So I'm gonna bump it up considerably. For my 130 watt CO2 laser, 60% power at 15 millimeters per second worked absolutely beautifully on this 1/4 inch thick piece of acrylic. All right, on the 1/8 inch acrylic, 40% power was plenty. Oh no, that's not right. Test number 2. No, that's not right. All right, you guys can probably see that I have something going on here. It's not rotating enough. And I think I've determined that it's the steps per rotation setting in the software. There's a lot of videos out there that show you how to find steps per rotation with CO2 and a rotary for a tumbler, but the cylinder rotary. But the chuck rotary, not a lot of info out there, so I'm trying to figure that one out. Making my very first jig for the fiber laser was a success. It took me a little bit to dial in the steps per rotation. I pretty much just had to play with it until I dialed it in and got it just right. Beyond that, we were also able to make a jig for pins that will hold 30 pins. If you subscribe to this channel, you likely subscribe to Darren Nay's channel called Time to Make Something. And you're probably aware he has a website called bulklaser.com where you could purchase bulk items for lasering. He sells pins, he sells tumblers, wallets, various items. And so I went on his website and ordered some stuff, so I'm excited about that coming in. I should probably have that really early this coming week. I have a listing on my website now for my customers to make it easy for them to order metal business cards. I've already sold a set to someone that wants membership cards for their hunting club. So that's kind of neat. I also have a friend that's at another business that wanted to try out the metal business cards, so we're going to do that. So got a couple of orders for that. Excited to give that a shot and give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this version of a video. Watch me kind of fail my way through this thing until I got it right. If you have any feedback on this, I'm totally noob to the world of lasers, so any suggestions, I am all ears for your feedback. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I'll see you very soon. Take care.